Hello there and happy Easter, I'm Alex and I do arty things. So this video was supposed to be for last Saturday, but I messed up the filming schedule. It all works out because I already bought the supplies for it and it's still technically the Easter season. For project number 1, I have these bunny crayons. To go with those, we have these peep stickers, and they're supposed to smell like marshmallow. I wish I could burn them, but the scent fire would only make them more powerful. They are terrible, but they're really, really cute. I really do like them, so I thought we could pair those up together. I think we could do something Peeps themed. Of course, to go with all that, I saw these. I've never tried Peeps gummies before. I'm truly scared. I know my mom is watching this like, why did you buy that? Oh no. What is that even supposed to be? That looks like a turd. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, that was awful. I feel sick. First impressions of it.
Is that what it's supposed to look like?
Yeah.
It doesn't look...
They all look like that.
It looks like a Santa turd. Okay, fine.
You don't want to open the trash can.
Oh my god. Tastes like disappointment dipped in regrets. It's in my mouth.
It tastes like you bit straight into a scented candle.
Okay, I don't like
Thank you for
that.
being part of my experiments.
No, I hate you.
I would not wish that on my worst enemy. Happy Easter. For my second idea, I saw these, and I thought it would be fun to craft some fun flowers. For my last idea, this one's a little strange, but bear with me. For Christmas last year, I bought all my friends ducks. I have a lot of leftover ducks, so I have to find a way to use these things. I have a little canvas here, set that down, paint it blue for water, and then stick some ducks doing things on there. Opening the crayons, I immediately knew these would be limiting. They began to melt under simply my fingertips, leaving a waxy, slippery coating. These crayons are supposed to be rainbow, but they left out orange and offered 2 pink options instead. I'm thankful for the pink, but come on, rainbow and no orange? Dear viewer, you might think to yourself, why don't you just mix red and yellow? Basic color theory. To that I say, I did think of that. However, testing them out via swatch confirmed my suspicions. These crayons are all filler and have little to no pigment. Attempting to go over the swatches a second time revealed the crayons will scrub themselves off the paper before they add any more color. Layering was completely out of the question. To give them the benefit of the doubt, these crayons would have benefited from a toothier paper. However, I didn't have any on hand, and even so, I'm not sure how much it would have helped due to just how much filler was in these crayons. I picked up the darker pink crayon and tried sketching. Nope. If you're having a bit of trouble fully seeing the sketch, no, it was worse in person. I was struggling. I thought for sure I was going to snap the crayon with how hard I had to press down to see any color. So I ended up switching to an erasable colored pencil for the details. Keeping it Easter themed, I drew a girl looking towards the camera with a joyful expression. She's wearing a typical t-shirt and jeans and holding a fluffy bunny with a plump baby chick on her shoulder. I gave her cute bangs and 2 long pigtails. Rainbow ears and pigtails. Getting a little bit of deja vu here. I forgot to press record, but I also added a basket with Easter eggs. Pretty early on, I decided to use my Ohuhu markers for the main coloring and the crayons for the background. I started coloring the skin first, adding blush and shading, trying to balance the tones to make sure her cheeks were cute but not too flushed. I tried to keep her skin and hair a similar shade and color. I wanted to go for a cute country bumpkin feel, and for some reason that always makes me think country bumpkin. I colored the cheek yellow and shaded with a little bit of orange, which turned out too orangey for a peep yellow, but that's okay. The shirt I colored a light pastel purple and shaded with lavender, layering on light blues. To help the girl stand out, I added a thick black outline. I added highlights with a silver paint pen marker because I lost my white Posca paint pen again. Using the crayons, I did a crisscross pattern, trying to keep similar colors next to each other. My goal was to have a very obvious crayon texture, which would hopefully contribute to the drawing looking more kiddish and cute. Sticker time! I placed the stickers randomly, keeping in mind large and small color and shapes, and tried to fill in as much space as possible. And here's how she turned out. For the flowers, I had red, pink, orange, and yellow for the petals, and a dark and light green for the stems. Other than the color options, I didn't have a clear image in my head of what I was going to create. I've never done an activity like this before, so this was a first. After pulling up a few vague tutorials on Pinterest where a hand, finger, or other object covered up 60% of what I needed to see, I decided that simply starting out would help my lack of vision. The first flower was supposed to be a lily. I picked out orange for the petals. The whole process was a lot of looping, bending, twisting, and being poked by the metal wire. Next, I made a buttercup, which went well, simpler than the rest and looked straight up adorable. I wish I'd made more of them. The yellow and green matched perfectly and I nailed the shape. After the first lily ended up looking a little thin, I decided to try to make a fuller one by adding more petals. This ended up going in the other direction and having a few too many petals, so I gave it one more shot with a red flower, doing my best to follow the tutorial as closely as I could. The red flower turned out to be the closest one to the lily. I also made a cute pink version of the dandelion. Then I took my hot glue gun, gluing on little wound up pieces of yellow and I think pink, and glued them each onto the flowers, pressing them in and making sure to adjust the petals as needed. If I'm being perfectly honest, this was the project I was the most excited for out of the three. While the others were enjoyable, something about the thought of little ducks on a painted canvas brought me sheer joy. I was so excited. When painting water, I usually opt for a baby blue as a base, so in the spirit of trying to improve at something I'm not very good at, I went with an aquamarine blue. I painted 4 different lily pads with an emerald green and an olive green mix. I added yellow paint to a light green and started blending, making sure that they had a nice mix of yellow highlights and dark blue shading. I painted on a white base for 2 water lilies, which I would end up adding color to later. I then painted on some random blue blobs and blended them in with the same aquamarine blue to create a variety in the hue. I originally painted on a lighter shade in the middle of the piece, but quickly changed my tactic to shade the area since that's where I planned on placing the ducks. I wanted the water to look more pond-like, so I kept adding green paint to my blues, blending as I went to create a softer shift in colors throughout the canvas. In the area where I wanted to show light on the water, I added yellowy green and layered what the internet calls cucumber green, I guess, on top. Added some textured stamped lines with the brush to create that signature watery look. Then went over the lily pads with more yellow and darker pink and purple on the flowers. I sealed all the paint on with a gloss varnish and hot glued my ducks on. I so want to do more of this 2D, 3D duck art. It's so fun and cute and I love it so much. The results are adorable and I feel like these would make really good gifts. Here are all the finished projects. Despite the crayons being a small letdown and burning off my fingertips with hot glue numerous times, I had a lot of fun doing a mixture of arts and crafts to celebrate the Easter season. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing. I get really excited every single time I see a notification from one of you, and it really makes my day reading your kind comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next post. Bye!